Fear is easily conquered. Easily conquered. Once you go through the process of collecting the resources and case studies, where it worked in the past. And what you're doing is you're training your brain to see these examples. By retention, doing it over and over and over again, you're giving yourself pseudo experience. That means that you're seeing something that's already happened, but you're putting annotations to it in a journal, and you're really placing a lot of significance on that, as if you were there. And because you're making it meaningful to you, it's like writing a love letter to your future self. This is what you did so well, and I'm proud of you being able to see this as it happened. Sounds silly, sounds weird, right? But that's how you have to treat it. You're going to nurture yourself and encourage yourself and be the biggest cheerleader for yourself and leave no opportunity for anybody to come in and fuck it up. You don't want anybody else's opinion. You don't want my opinion. As much as you think you do, you don't want my opinion. Your subconscious doesn't want to hear from Inner Circle Trader. He doesn't want to fucking hear. She doesn't want to hear. You don't want to hear anything from anyone. This is your fortress of solitude. No one can hurt you here. Your journal is your fucking secret weapon. It's the greatest fucking trading book you're ever going to read, and you're writing it yourself. You can't make it more intimate than that. It's your experiences, your study time, your focus, where you can be honest with yourself and not be embarrassed about, you maybe expected something else that day. And you can say it sweetly in annotations without being negative, because your subconscious is going to retain that. Your subconscious doesn't remember things vaguely. It doesn't do that. It records things that are heightened, whether by the euphoric or fearful, extremely pleasant or painful, inspirational, desperation. There's no middle ground in your subconscious. Everything is reactive, by black and white, good and bad. It's just the way it is. So you have to take that into account when you're training your brain. And this is a very integral part to learning how to do this. You have to condition yourself. That's why you can't do it in a very short span of time. Your brain is extremely complex. It's extremely powerful. And if you feed it the wrong things, it will scare the living shit out of you, and you'll never learn how to do this. Stop forcing it. Stop rushing it. It has to be meditative. It has to be something you do as a daily ritual, even on weekends. You have to feed your mind constructive, positive learning case studies where you see these things happening in the past. You're fearful that it's not going to work for you because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's all. That's all it is. You just can't recognize it yet because you're not familiar with it. That's all. That's all it is. It's a new language you haven't learned yet, and it takes time. And it's boring in the beginning. That's why I'm doing all these types of discussions, because the students that are really here to learn, you're here listening and you're taking notes. The people that are going to be casual, they're not going to be profitable. They're not going to learn no matter how much I do live in front of them. As soon as I stop doing the commentaries, they'll never find a winning trade. That's who they're going to be. That's not who I'm talking to. I have a certain group of students that are hardcore. They really want to know what's going on and how to overcome themselves and learn how to read these markets like a book they've read 20, 30 times. You know the plot. You know the characters. You probably can say verbatim what the next line is going to be in the next paragraph because you've been here before. That's what experience does. And in the hands of a lay audience, when I show, like what I've been doing with Twitter, it seems magical. But you're going to do the same thing. And don't be prideful about it. Don't build yourself up like you're something special. Because all I am is blessed, and I'm trying to share this life skill with you. And I want you to be responsible with it. So you have to define your trading model. Where are you going to be in 10 years from now?
Will you have $1 million working your job? You won't. But if you start with $1,000 and after taxes you net 100% return, you got over $1 million in 10 years. And that's a very, very slow-paced, snail's crawl approach to fortifying 10 years, you have $1 million. Now, $1 million isn't shit anymore today, but that's just an example that I started with when I was on Baby Pips. I was saying, look, you guys look at money differently than I do. I look at how I can take a little bit and make a lot over time. Over time. So when you sit down and you say to yourself, I'm going to learn how to trade, I'm going to be successful at this, okay. You all have a timeline that you're going to be profitable by. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. You're trying to time your success. You're trying to time it like it's the graduation when you go to college. Well, if I go through the curriculum and I show up every year, I do all your semesters, spring, summer, fall, winter, then I would have all my credits by this time, and then I'll graduate this year. That's not how trading works. I know that's what you want it to be like, but it's not.